Brian King, UK Flooring TV. Today I'm over at the Flooring Industry Training Association, FITA, over in Loughborough. I'm with instructor Scott Carter Dowding. How's it going, Scott?
Well, mate, yourself?
Yeah, not so bad, not so bad. Scott, you served your time as president for the NICF. You actually did a couple of terms. How did you find that?
It's a difficult position to be in. There was good times, there's bad times, as any position like that's going to have. But it got to a point where it was obviously time for somebody else to come in. I enjoyed it, I did enjoy it, but I'd done the double amount of terms. So I'd really, right, that's it, it's time to move on now.
Time for somebody else.
Time for somebody else to take the position, which rightly so, because you've done a cracking job with it, mate. And with the NICF, it's obviously I left council as well at the same time, and it was just because at that point I had to really look at where everything was. I had so much going on, so many irons and so many different fires. Something had to go, unfortunately. But I still fully support the NICF, as you know, and I'll back them all the way.
You're more hands-on now at FITA, Scott. You're running more of the courses. How are you finding that?
We've seen an increase in people coming through the door. I thoroughly love doing the job. I made a conscious decision to give it more time. And it's getting busier and busier. We've got, obviously the courses are doing great. We've also got a lot of commercial clients coming through, bespoke courses. And it's really been a good couple of years, should we say.
Scott, you're involved more with updating courses and rewriting the courses as well. How's that going?
It's going well. When we're updating them, we're not changing much. We're bringing them into the here and now. So we're looking at the industry, seeing where the industry is going, and we're just bringing a few bits in, especially as manufacturers' materials. We've got new sponsors in the centre as well, so we're looking at those products and seeing what we could do with those. We're trying to give as much as we can to the industry as a whole.
Also, Scott, FITA has been very busy as well when it's been open with what's been happening this year.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? Yeah.
It has. We've been surprised. Nobody knew what was going to happen. So we were sort of waiting with bated breath, and I think we were all pleasantly surprised at the uptake on courses, even through sort of like the breaks in the lockdown, or when we could be open. We had a lot of people coming through, and it wasn't dribs and drabs, it was good numbers coming through, and that was a great thing for us to see for the industry, because the people, even though obviously they were in a very difficult position, they're still wanting to improve, they're still wanting to train to increase their presence and make their business better at the end of the day.
Scott, with being here more, running most of the courses and running your own business as well, how do you manage to juggle that about?
Anything like that is difficult to juggle. I personally made a conscious decision to give FITA more time. I know Shane is an instructor, he's obviously got a lot more to juggle than I have, because I don't have a shop presence or anything. So my business, I swayed more towards the FITA side than my own client base. I've still got my regular clients, and I've got good mates in the industry. I've got Gav up at Carpet Studio in Newcastle, and he does sort of he takes a lot of my work on for me, should we say. So he's able to go out and he can do the measures, he can sort of provide the products, and that takes a lot of weight off of my shoulders. So then all he does is I just go out, I do the fitting, I'm the initial point of contact with the customer, and then we work hand in hand to sort of get the job done then.
Hopefully, Scott, the National Floor Show at Harrogate will go ahead this year. Now you're more hands-on, you'll be more or less running the demo zones. Have you any plans to change the demos, or?
I think it's something that needs to be sort of looked at again as a whole. We've got to see where the industry is. The demos were brilliant and they brought a lot of people in, but we've got to see what it's sort of creating something new for people to come and view. We've been doing the same thing for years, and we've been doing everything that has been required, and it's what we're trying to do, is show all the sponsors' products as much as we possibly can. So I don't think the demos are going to change in what we're actually showing, because obviously the sponsors' products we need to promote, we need to do things the right way, as we are a training centre, we need to be showing the right way as well. We might mix it up a little bit, sort of day to day, just to try and bring in sort of new crowds, and again to keep the sponsors happy and make sure they're getting their money's worth as well.
Scott, I've noticed you don't do social media. How come? Why is that?
I'm personally not a big fan of social media. I've got my own views with social media. Nothing to do with people on social media, but the whole concept. I don't like the whole concept. I've got teenage kids, and I see what goes on it. And I was on it, as you know. We were very present on Twitter and on Facebook and everything. And yeah, I looked at it and I thought, no, this is not for me. There's good and bad on social media, and I agree with social media for what it is. It's a brilliant advertising tool for businesses, for people to showcase their work, and for people to use it like a grand forum to get advice from other installers, worldwide installers as well. And it's brilliant when there's constructive criticism. The bad side of it, I'm not overly keen with. If you're going to criticise, make it constructive instead of the slating I've seen all over social media. Not just in the flooring, but again with, as I say, I've got teenage kids. A lot of my mates are in different trades as well, and every trade or every situation on it is the same. People are behind a keyboard and they feel they can say what they want, and it doesn't sort of quite work like that in the real world.
Scott, it's been reported that there's a skills gap within the industry. You know what I mean? There's not many youngsters coming into the trade. There's not many people in general taking floor laying up as a career. What are your views on that?
Now, as we both know, I mean, it is a hard industry. It is a hard job to do, and it takes quite a bit of patience to get through an apprenticeship and to get to the point where you are actually making sort of decent money. The skills gap does need to be improved. The youngsters need to be lured into it, really, or the industry in a whole should be going out to the youngsters and saying that this is what you can achieve. And again, if we go back to like the social media side of things, that's where it comes into its own. Some of the work that people are producing nowadays, it really is phenomenal, and youngsters are seeing that, and hopefully that will start to bring in a few more. But again, with those sort of things, the apprenticeships, to my personal knowledge, the apprenticeships aren't as widely spread in flooring as other trades like plumbing and electricians. So maybe looking at that side of things, maybe providing more places where people can actually learn. But once people get into it, it's one of these trades. Once you're in it, it's very difficult to get back out of it. It hooks you, and that's it. You're set for life in a sense. So yeah, it really is just a case of we need to get to the youngsters more and just try and educate them or show them what the trade's actually like.
Make it look a bit more appealing.
Yeah.
Scott, since last time I was here, looking round at all the sponsors, looks like you've gained quite a few new sponsors. So what sponsors have you been working with lately?
Well, I haven't gained any new sponsors. FITA's gained new sponsors.
Gained new sponsors.
Yes, we have gained some new, a few new sponsors, very recent sponsors. I've been working with alongside. Been working with AW. AW and their Invictus range of LVTs, the herringbones, the design floors, and the carpets as well. They're supplying obviously carpets for courses. Very nice products, so it's been good to work with them. We've got the likes of Straw Mount, and it's very good for us to be able to show aftercare as well. It's all very well showing people how to sort of try and show them how to fit a floor properly, but it's what do they tell the customers afterwards? How can they care for a floor? So that information going across to them can then be put across to the customers as well. I've also had the opportunity to sort of work on a commercial basis with other people like Alternative Flooring, with the Naturals course, and that's been brilliant. Just getting sort of involved with them, having their input, and then we can sort of give our input to them has been great. We've also been working with Loughton's contracts as well, with training more on the informational side and with their site managers and estimators and stuff. So on those aspects, it's been brilliant.
Scott, how's COVID affected you in the last year, I suppose?
Feeling absolutely fine, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
How's it affected your business? Like the training centre's been shut. Have you dropped back into your own work, or do you work for shops? Has the shops been shut? How's it affected you in that way?
For me personally, it's quite difficult to say, because I know a lot of people have really struggled, and I do feel for them. It has affected business across this country is something chronic. But I wasn't overly affected. I've managed to keep working, although obviously we had to shut our doors due to the lockdowns and everything. I was able to work again with Gav through like the lockdown when the restrictions obviously allowed us to do so. And again with Stairrods, working with Stairrods closely, and I still work with Stairrods closely as well. I always found ways of working, or managed to carry on working. I did have time off, I'm not going to lie and say I worked right through everything, but sometimes that time off was quite welcomed. But yeah, I've been very fortunate through it, and I do feel for the people obviously who haven't.
I've noticed over the last year or so, you have been doing quite a lot with Stairrods UK. How did that come about?
I've known John for quite a few years. I started doing little bits with them many years ago, and so sometimes John will ask me for a bit of installation advice, and then he basically brought out the alley range. And the alley range is a phenomenal product, but it's not a straightforward door bar. It's not like putting a single nap lock down or a double nap lock. You're now integrating the floor into the bar itself. So I was on the product development side with that one, and just looking at it and just coming up with the ways of installing them, and obviously with the videos as well. Stairrods had a major push or a major advertising campaign, should we say, with videos, and I was the person on the videos. So again, I still work very closely with John. Now obviously he's on the council and is very supportive of the NICF as well. It's a good little working relationship we have. I don't obviously work for them full time. They are another element to my business.
Finally, Scott, what are your predictions for the year?
Predictions for the year, very tough one. It's really a case of let's just see what happens. Just try and keep going forwards. That's all we can do. Business is business. Then obviously it's not the be all and end all of everything. There are other avenues I'm involved with if things did go sour with my business. But it really is just take it week by week, month by month, and just hope that things start to settle where we get to a point where maybe we'll return to a new normal, but where business and the industry can start building itself back up again.
Flooring has been quite lucky because we're classed as construction, and we can, well, more or less carry on as long as we're take care. And
yeah, and that's one of the things is it's obviously you've got to really follow the guidelines, but you've really got to think about taking care of your customers and also taking care of yourselves as well. That's one of the most important things. I mean, nowadays it's sanitising your hands has become second nature.
Yeah.
Walking around with face masks is now second nature. I say it's the new normal, but with regards to the future, it really is abide by what we can and just keep going. That's all we can do.
Well, Scott, thanks very much for speaking to us, and good luck with 2021.
Yep, and yourself.
Cheers.